right, Domenica Davis, thank you very much. Responding to tips about preachers who seem to flaunt their wealth, the top Republican in the Senate Finance Committee is investigating 6 televangelists. Senator Chuck Grassley has formally requested explanations about their finances, due to him by December. Ken Behr is the president of the Evangelical Council for Finance, and he joins us now. Ken, Senator Grassley wants financial information from the following 6 people. He wants Kenneth Copeland, Creflo Dollar, Benny Hinn, Bishop Eddie Long, Joyce Meyer, and Randy White. Do any of these preachers belong to your group, and what does your group do?
I've been asked that before, and that's one of the things they have in common, is none of them belong to the ECFA.
Okay.
Your second question is, what do we do? We're an accreditation agency, much in the same manner that colleges are accredited. We provide accreditation to over 2,000 evangelical charities, churches, and nonprofits. But we also, more than that, we're also an advocate for good governance, financial accountability, integrity.
What do you do, though? How do you look into their books?
Well, what we do is we have 7 standards, what we call responsible stewardship, which are very similar to what most nonprofits need to do. It starts with an independent board of directors, which means the board has at least 5 members. They shouldn't be family members. They shouldn't be employees. They should provide some oversight for the CEO, the pastor, the bishop, whoever the head of the organization is. They should have audited financial statements. They should have a conflict of interest policy, ethical fundraising. So there's 7 different standards that organizations can review and decide if they want to apply.
Senator Chuck Grassley, he's asking for more information from those 6, and in a statement, he said, and we have a graphic of this, he said, quote, "I don't want to conclude that there's a problem, but I have an obligation to donors and the taxpayers to find out more. People who donated should have their money spent as intended and in adherence with the tax code." Why do you think it's important for groups like these, ministry groups, televangelists, Christian-related groups, to sort of be above reproach when it comes to money?
Well, we've always thought that Christian charities especially should have a little higher standard. In fact, that's our motto, a higher standard. I think especially the interesting thing here is that these are organized as churches. And because they're churches, they don't provide a 990, the Form 990 that most other nonprofits do. So quite frankly, most other people are in the dark. There's no requirement on a church to have full disclosure.
Huh. And a lot of them are connected to what's called the prosperity gospel. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
I wish I could. I try not to define it. It's usually defined by other people. I've heard the story a lot that these are prosperity preachers. It's difficult, however, to talk about a specific type of preachers.
But it basically says that wealth will come, God will honor you with wealth or sort of success.
God wants to prosper you. God wants to prosper you. I think one of the objections that most people have to this type of preaching is not so much that give and you'll get something, but specifically give to my ministry and you'll get something special.
Do you worry at all, Ken, about the government stepping into churches or church matters?
Well, it is a concern. It is a concern, and people have asked me that a lot. I've been on some Christian radio stations. That seems to be the particular question from the Christian radio stations, isn't this overhanded from the government to be able to step in and start regulating churches? I don't really see it that way. I don't see it as regulation. Senator Grassley is asking the very same questions to these Christian charities that he asked to the Smithsonian Institute, to the American Red Cross, to the American University in the last few years.
All right. Ken Behr, the president of the Evangelical Council for Financial Accountability, thank you very much for joining us
Thank you,
today.
Molly.